Wow. Last weekend I was in a field. Music was pumping. There was a sea of bucket hats. At one point I had two 11-year-olds on my shoulders at the front of a Prodigy gig. Probably not the advice you're going to see in a parenting book, but definitely something that you'll see in mine, right? I was at Kendal Calling and it gave me exactly what I needed. It gave me connection, it gave me disconnection, gave me laughter, gave me movement, gave me presence, and then Monday landed, right? And you hear that classic phrase, back to reality, right? You hear it all the time after holidays, you hear it after festivals, you even hear it after a normal weekend, right? The emails, the notifications, the Slack pings, the chasing for data for a RAG report that no one reads. I remember those days all too well. Okay, and that phrase, back to reality, air quotes, honestly, I believe needs retiring, because what even is reality these days? And it might sound deep, but is it a work calendar that eats up your life? Is it a schedule that lets everyone else in but leaves no room for you? Okay, we've got it all back to front, okay, because leisure used to be the purpose of life, and now it's treated like a reward for surviving the week, and work becomes the default setting. Leisure is just some reward that comes, if you're lucky, maybe 2 or 3 times a month. When you read back, okay, the word leisure actually comes from the ancient Greek word surely. I think that's how you pronounce it, okay? But it wasn't about sitting still, binging on shows on Netflix. It meant space for thinking, space for learning, being creative and connecting with others and actually expanding your mind, right? In fact, some ancient cultures worked just 15 hours every week, right? We've matched that normally by Tuesday close of play, and we say things like, it's been non-stop, I just haven't had time to think, work is mental right now, the week's just run away from me, I wish I could have done my run, but work's just taken over, right? Sound familiar? But these are not facts, right? These are just habits, and these are narratives or choices, you could say. And I've been thinking a lot about choices and identity recently, both for myself and for my clients as well, because I used to think it all came from going all in on one thing, okay? One label, one path, one role. But honestly, I'm not convinced that's a smart move anymore. Yes, I'm a coach, okay, and I love what I do, but that's not my identity, right? I'm also a dad. I'm a triathlete. I'm someone who loves running, loves clubbing, going to and coaching under 12s football, stroking my dog, dancing with my daughter, and now even diving into spirituality as well. And I've realised the more I explore all of those parts, the more grounded, the more creative and effective I become. Okay, because when we over-identify with just one thing, especially work, it makes us brittle and it makes us rigid and it makes us labelled. Okay, by ourselves and by others, and one bad quarter or one missed goal or one reorg, yeah, and the whole thing wobbles and crashes and comes crumbling down. But when you diversify your identity and your lifestyle and what we like to do, it's like a well-balanced portfolio, okay? We become stronger, we become more anti-fragile, more human, if you like, meaning that we can gain from any disorder and not crumble from it, okay? And in my coaching that we do inside of Onto, I see it all too often, the exec who finally takes a break and realises what they actually want, the dad who maybe walks with his daughter and realises that he's been physically present but mentally elsewhere for years, the guy who hasn't run in 10 years then finds himself fitter, clearer and more assertive at work than he's ever been. The leader who drops alcohol and suddenly starts picking up new passions and leading with clarity and not coping with chaos, right? None of this is magic. It's the recovery and leisure time between the reps, okay? I'm going to repeat that. It's the recovery and the leisure time between the reps. So this week, here is your nudge, okay? Stop treating leisure like it's optional. Stop outsourcing your identity to your job title and start building a life where all of you gets airtime. Because when you do, you become someone who doesn't just perform at work. You live well, you lead well, you love better. So you have to give yourself permission to slow down, to relax, to walk, to train, to run, to dance, to laugh, to breathe, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Or even scream, smack my bitch up with your kids on your shoulders in a muddy field. right? Because that moment might just be the most productive thing that you've done all month. Right, if this resonated, hit like. If you're ready to reset with all parts of you still intact, check out onto, maybe DM me over on LinkedIn as well. The link will be in the description. And meanwhile, I'll see you in the next one.